I tell Sam all the time, when it comes to auctions, you never know when things are going to come up, so you kind of just have to be ready to bid on them when they present themselves. And this is a 2003, I believe, Trinity belt trailer, which is basically what we were going to drive to, I think it was Aberdeen, and looked at one and thought about buying it and then didn't, and then decided, well, maybe we should go ahead and do it, and it had already sold. So we've just kind of been watching and waiting, and this one came along in an auction just a couple days ago, and Sam was fortunate enough to be the high bidder. So there are some definite pieces of metal that have been crunched. The tarp is not in good shape, and it currently has some compost in it. So I don't know how we're going to get that out, where we're going to put it, all the things to make it work. But I am sure you will see it in future videos, and Sam will go through it and probably explain all the things that it does, all the things that are not quite right with it that it needs to do, and how he's planning on fixing it. So stay tuned to see more of this in the future. Okay, so this is kind of a continuation of what I'm calling Project Roulette. So we have a lot of little projects that have been started. I don't know what order they're going to get completed in or how long each one's going to take, especially with it being, with it getting dark so much sooner. Like, it's pretty much dark by 5 o'clock, so we don't have a lot of time after work to be working on things outside. So what this project is the trim around the windows, you can kind of see, has, I don't know what the right word is, come away from the windows, and needs to be fixed. So we've been obviously kind of putting this off for the last several years because it just kind of hasn't been too much of a priority, but it was getting bad enough, this window was the worst, that we thought we should do something about it sooner than later. So Sam pulled this off, and as you can see, it's just kind of that fiber board whatever that doesn't seem to hold up very well to moisture. But I know it's kind of gross and dirty, but at least underneath it is sealed, so that's a positive. But it's got this huge gap channel thing in here that we weren't really expecting. We thought it was going to be flush against the house so we could just put up the stuff that we bought, which I don't know where it is, but it's some kind of a PVC something, so it shouldn't be affected by moisture, and you can paint it, which is the part I'm most excited about. It'll be really interesting. I tried to get a gray paint. I wasn't necessarily trying to match this, but it'll be really interesting to see how close to that it ends up being. So Sam's got to figure out how to shim this space so that the PVC is flush against the house. And what he was thinking initially was just to get some chunks of something, well, that's two pieces stuck together, but something about this thick and just kind of figuring out how to space it in there. But then we've got the same problem with wood and moisture, so his thought was to maybe take pieces of the PVC, because they're longer sticks than what we need for the space under the window, so he could just take a little chunk and put it in there in a couple different places and use that to attach to. So that's one project that you'll see in the future. Another project that you'll see in the future, if you look right down, focus right down there by the garbage can and the mailbox, there's a white pole sticking up. So Sam took just a random piece of metal pipe that we have from something and put it in there to help bridge the gap between the power pole and the corner right over there, so that he could string some wire and make a gate, because eventually we're going to have cows that are going to pasture on the alfalfa and hopefully eat down the alfalfa a little bit, because we weren't able to do a 5th cutting, and we don't want it to get super long over the winter so that it's annoying in the spring. So we're going to try to put some cows on it, and hopefully they'll eat it down and then naturally fertilize it for us. So we'll kind of do an experiment with that and see how that goes. And then I showed you guys the belt trailer just a little bit. So this is where we're parking it for now. And I don't know when it's going to be worked on or what exactly all is going to get done to it, but that's a future potential project. And then there is this, which I actually really love the way that this turned out. And I'm sure it's not its finished form, but I just like the way it's coming out so far. So this is a gooseneck trailer. This is the one that we sandblasted. And because we weren't going to be able to get it all sandblasted and then painted properly, we just went ahead and bought some just flat black rattle can spray paint and sprayed it really quick. And I just really like, one, the texture of it, how it came out, and just I think the flat black's really pretty. So I mean, not pretty, I don't know what the right word is, I just like the way it looks. So eventually, when we get the whole thing sandblasted, I think this is what we're going to end up painting it like. And I just like the way that that looks. So this isn't finished by any means, but probably for the winter, at least, it's finished enough. Oh, we missed some spots under here, but that's okay, we can get it. But yeah, so that is an update on this project. And like I said, definitely not finished, but finished enough for now. But I'm sure, like I said, you'll see it again. So this is kind of Project Roulette. These are all the things we have going on that I know of at this moment, that we'll see again between weather and daylight and different things, what gets worked on when and in what order. So I'm really excited about all of them. I think my favorite, or the most exciting to me, is probably the trim around the windows, because I get to paint it when it's done, and it'll be nice knowing that that part of the house is done. And then, yeah, maybe the fencing, just because it'll be cool to maybe get some cows out here and maybe get some cows of our own. So that project could lead to multiple projects potentially. So that's just kind of an update on where we're at and what's going on and what's coming up. So I hope you're as excited about it as I am, and you'll stay tuned and follow along with us. I completely forgot about these. So part of our potential future project, we have these 6 pine trees that we need to figure out where to plant and when. So stay tuned for that as well. If you want to leave in the comments your guess of which projects get completed in which order and which don't get completed, your guess is as good as mine. So it'll be kind of fun to see what happens and who's right. So good luck, and thanks for watching.